Hello team and welcome into your next hitter between two posts. What a weekend it was. Some madness in the Six Nations. A Reds Brumbies game that went down to the 83rd minute. Big signings in the world of Super Rugby as well for one of the Aussie sides. It's massive. And to break it all apart, Nick Phipps, our weatherman from Japan, back from the Northern Hemisphere, and Morgan Turinui. Morgs, great to have you. Fang, so good to have you back with us. And congratulations, Morgs. Yep. The addition of another little Fang.
Another one,
to the crew.
I've been getting more good lucks and congratulations. But
yeah, so you're fourth.
In the fight now, yeah.
Valentine, love the name.
Yep. Mrs. and Valentine doing well, so all good back in the Phipps household, very busy.
So good.
Is that it now?
Kids.
Four?
Oh, that'll be done, yeah.
You're a fourer.
Yeah, well, you can do the Mark Chisholm and say, oh, we'll have one more and have twins.
Oh.
Old Chiz. That's how they ended up with 5. I think they had 3 and ended up with twins.
That's large areas.
Forza.
Fellas, a hell of a weekend. Tell you what, F1, hell of a weekend down there too. So good. You should have seen the people in the paddock, fellas. Saw your old teammates, Drew Mitchell, Matt Giddo. They were there with the Alpine team.
They would have been dining out on that.
Jordan Mailata, he was there. Delta was in the house. And the Shark, Greg Norman. I got to touch greatness. How good. He's ripped, mate. You should see how big he is.
Still got it,
shredded. Shark's still shredded. That was yesterday. Where do we start? We start with Zach Lomax, which is Monday. We've got a new addition to the world of Super Rugby. The Western Force have picked up the former Eels, Dragons, Origin, Kangaroos winger / centre. 2 years we've got him for. How good to have a name like that in the world of rugby.
It's good to have him, I think. The more we sort of get the best talent in the game, the better the game's going to go. Obviously, there's so much talent in the outside backs in the Wallabies, whether he's got a big task ahead of him to work his way not only into the Force team, but potentially the Wallabies team. But I think he's going to be a great addition. It's good to have, these big name signings coming across the game, being eager to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolute no-brainer, this signing. I'm glad they moved very quickly. You've got to remember, too, of course, that in his mind, Zach Lomax, talking to his management firm and the people around him, he had in his head he was going to play rugby. Of course, it was going to be R360 originally. So he'd sort of got his head around what it would take physically and skill-wise to play rugby. He was intrigued by the sport. Then he went and visited, obviously, Perth in January. So he's done all the background work when he thought he was hopefully coming to Union. So he's been over, hearing that he resonated very well with Simon Cronny's coaching staff, was impressed with the environment and the program over in Perth, and that this Western Force decision came pretty quickly, remembering he'd done all of his homework already to play rugby, but he's had chats to the Wallabies coaching staff and, a few other people in the game. So it's actually quite a considered decision, even though once the court case news came through last week, it moved quite quickly.
I think Cronny runs a really hard breakdown area as well, so I'd love to be a fly on the wall to see him hit his first breakdown in at training, see how he adapts to the Union style, but I think he's going to be great for the game.
I think one-on-ones with Carlo Tizzano at the end of training, maybe.
A little bit of extras. What position will he likely play? Straight wing?
Well, it's the same thing as a Suaalii, right? Yeah. If you come across as a rugby league convert, the easiest place to play is on the wing, in the back three. And then from there, I know he wanted to be a centre in rugby league, but I would have thought wing straight away, especially as it's now. This is not Joseph Suaalii or Angus Crichton. We're waiting to a spring tour, we're waiting for the end of the season. He's at training tomorrow, if not today. He's over there, he's getting settled, his bags are packed. The best place to find him would be in a number 23 Western Force jersey within a fortnight, hopefully. 20 minutes of power off the bench on the wing and go from there.
He's a big boy too. Like,
massive,
you could play him anywhere, but I think getting settled in the middle of a season, chuck him on the wing, and then, when options start to open up, he can find different homes, whether that be fullback, inside centre, outside centre.
I can't wait to see how he goes. And starting to build some strike power over in the West is Cron, because James Ram's coming back too. That kid can play. We know how good Darby Lancaster is. So Lomax is going to be with the Western Force for the remainder of this year. Fellas, we've got to go back to Saturday night. One of the wildest, craziest, most nutso evenings in the capital. I think we have had Morgan Turinui. We've been down there a hell of a lot. And, Fang, you cannot believe the Lightning pre-game. The play... It was like the ball at the Questacon where you stick your hands on it. Zap, 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 zap,
The
zap.
slow-mo that Stan put up of the lightning just streaking across the sky was
It hit the stadium roof. It had Horan literally jumping. The lightning was absolutely, completely wild. Bucketed down. I mean, it was... As Justin Harrison mentioned, it was like the 50-year storm from Point Break.
The 2-hour pre-game as well was... That's full credit to Stan.
This was the one that hit us. Mate, the whole joint shook. Morgs...
That's when you know you've run out of things to say. It was like, well, why don't we just pay homage to Tony Greig?
He went full Tony Greig.
I kept flicking over and it was just someone
That's
new.
my
like,
pen.
Googs is there
That's my
talking.
fountain pen.
Piece of old bale.
Googs is there talking about his
that's
20
my
years
pen.
ago, how good he was, and like then I'd flick back and they've got Lord on there. It was just very entertaining.
You obviously have a bit of a rundown with what you're going to do. You got some tape pieces. They were gone half an hour before the warm-up started. We used them all. So that's what was left. It was
Looking for people from the crowd to come.
yeah.
on.
I tell you what, you guys and Swaney and Ellie did an awesome job to keep that ticking over up until kick-off. And then when the game actually eventually finally did get started, she was wet. She was pretty heavy underfoot, but you wouldn't have known it because the Brumbies were harming in the first 10.
The skills on show in that wet weather and the physicality from both sides was really impressive. And credit to the top two teams in Australian rugby. It was a cracking game, a lot like the Crusaders Blues game across the ditch. The ball was flowing and the Brumbies looked so good in tack, and the Reds, conversely, were so physical in the way they carried and the way they played the game. And then, the Brumbies are just scoring some scintillating tries and, really good show for the game, I think.
Well, 12-0 after 10 minutes, and you thought, OK, well, the Brumbies are the ones that have coped with this. They've come out, they're going to blow this Reds team away. A Reds team that haven't had joy in Canberra a lot or very recently. And then that was it. You thought, that's it. The Brumbies are in control. More of what we've seen earlier in this season. They're in cruise control. But to the Reds' credit, gee, they bounced back hard.
Yeah, and they got into their work by going a bit more direct. Les Kiss is a big guy. He always talks about going north. All his work around attack and defence, we're going north. I don't know how many times I saw Luke Kahn and Harry Wilson and one of the big props in a pod. There's no way they haven't manufactured that because they just kept rolling around the corner. Heavy carries, big clean-outs, and they were really grinding the Brumbies down for stages there.
Yeah, they have the light and shade, don't they? That where a little bit like the Wallabies, sometimes you think it's just direct. And then you have the Wilson-Mick Wright combination come to the fore, and there was the change-up. You thought for all money, Wilson, he's going to go outside to Mick Wright, they're going to play. That was a great sleight of hand. And then when they go to width, look, Carter Gordon once again was better again. And then when they went to width, with that long pass of his and some of his decision-making, it's great.
Speaking of going to width, what about the work down the left-hand side and the hands as they tiptoe down that left-hand touchline? About as good as it gets, doesn't it, fellas? A little set play here.
Yeah, the short, sharp passing from both sides was so impressive on the weekend. The ability to move the ball around and commit defenders rather than just going straight to the space. Both teams were doing it so well. I thought both 10s were impressive, Meredith and Gordon. I thought it was really good to see them play. They're probably the two premier 10s in Australia at the moment and, not an easy route for both of them to be getting back to their prime.
Yeah, it certainly was. And then this game went to and fro off the back of this because they did it similarly yet differently. Both teams were happy. And I suppose a lot of credit got to go to the matchday management for getting the game on, but also the caretakers in charge of the deck. The deck dried out. The deck was outstanding, which allowed... that's simple, but it's also so efficient in its simplicity. And I actually thought this would be an arm wrestle. Let's kick long. Let's go all high balls. There was a lot of catch pass, a lot of play in this match because the deck held up so well.
Is that try better than Fraser's against the Highlanders? After the Harry Wilson through the legs?
Yeah, it's a...
Yeah, I like that one.
Rugby-wise...
That's a purist try.
Purist-ish, yeah. Try of the year? Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
You know what?
Let's not go there. Right?
Someone, when we love what the Super... No, never mind. We'll circle back, as they say. And then just before half-time, so with the way ebbing and flowing, the exchanging the leads, and then Charlie Cale found his way over for his second. So that was 7, as Pity has up there, 7 tries in 4 games for Charlie Cale. Quick and tight. You're not going to stop that. But then the Reds land a really key penalty goal to go in up 20-19 at the break. We don't get any points for 23 minutes in that second half until Muirhead finds his way over, and then Reimer goes in as well. So at that stage, after Lukey Reimer goes in, it's 11 points to lead, and we've got 6 to go. And we're talking about the Brumbies at home against the Reds. The Reds, who have only won in the history of Super Rugby Pacific 4 times in the nation's capital. They are on a 4-game losing streak at all venues against the Brumbies. And then you're thinking, this is done. Let's get back to the Kingston Hotel for a couple of Carltons out of the tank, through the copper. We're good to go. We've already been here for 17 hours. We're off.
Yeah, well, I think we just ticked over to 4 hours on air there with 4 minutes to go. That's what it was. It's not even a joke. We were on air for 4 hours, and you thought, OK, well, the Brumbies have done what needed to be done. They ground out the back end. They came over the top. Reimer, absolutely outstanding without the ball again at breakdown, as was Shop. And then even this one, you weren't sure whether it was a try, and they just found a way, the Reds.
Yeah, you're sort of thinking, nice little even up at the end here, end of the game.
Even up.
Yeah, you just made a really good game of it. And then, once they get this kick-off receipt, they just start going again. And geez, that break down the right-hand side to put them in position to, climb away with that game was so...
Don't get ahead of yourself, Fang.
Yeah, even the context...
Do not get ahead.
...of that try takes the attacking bonus point off the Brumbies. Gets the Reds to one. So even at the end of Brumbies, if they had have got a ball, say, off a little knock-on maybe or something, they could have gone for a bonus point in attack. Yeah. They could have gone for 5 points.
For example.
They could have.
And then something else happens.
OK. This moment has been the number one talking point out of this game above all else. It is the kick receipt after Daungunu has scored that try. And it goes again in the direction of Filippo. And it looked for all money on camera 3 in the broadcast and live that it was a knock on from Daungunu. I haven't seen this angle yet.
So he catches it, bobbles forward, backwards off his hand. Does it hit Mick Wright, or does he knock it on first? Which way does that ball go?
Yeah, the camera angle on the night.
That's gone forward.
That looked knock on, but then there've been all these new angles coming out.
Look how far away Mick Wright is from Daungunu.
What angle is that one?
That's Roffey's old man, Glenn.
Gone.
Proud,
right there, into McWright.
Where?
Here.
Yeah, so it hits his own hand and goes
Hang
backwards.
on a second.
So Daungunu, McWright, it's not there. So the grainier footage one is the one that shows the distance between the two of them, right?
The one from someone's iPhone from the crowd.
Yeah, no, we've had the Super Rugby sort of referee review meeting this morning. That they've sort of sent through some of those. So that's the one where you think, it's bounced into Mick Wright for all money.
Yeah.
So it's that looks like a logical one. I know TMO James Leckie at the time.
Did it not hit his foot?
No, it didn't. So this is the one, right? Look how far away Mick Wright is from Daungunu.
No, I thought it hit Salakai Loto's foot.
Yeah, but Salakai Loto's off to the side. Look.
Oh, Seruru, sorry.
No, it hasn't hit him either.
No, I think it's knocked back.
When you put them all together, this is what's happened. So on the sideline, don't forget the angle of the assistant referee is perfect to judge the distance between Mick Wright. The assistant referee sees the distance. Damon Murphy, the referees, there's this amazing finish to the match. They walk off the field, tapping each other on the back. Boys, well done, no dramas, was there? James Leckie, the TMO, up in there, remembering Super Rugby, the laws and the way they go about their process for TMO. The TMO can only come in if there is an obvious error from the referee in the play leading up to a try, or if there's foul play at a yellow card, red card level, or if the referee asks for help. Now, the referees trio, they thought, they didn't even think there was an issue. They didn't even think about anything that Daungunu did there at all.
They were so confident.
They're probably more worried about Dungunu's try than they were worried about that. Okay. So they're just wandering around thinking, how good, boys, let's go to Kingston for a beer. so James Leckie, I think he would have come in and said, hang on, knock on, if Pritchard scores in the right-hand corner. So if we show the last bit, so they go long right, the Reds, there's a massive line break, outstanding play from the Reds. If he scores in the right corner, they go to Leckie and his initial thoughts are knock on. Now, maybe he finds all of those angles and it stands. Yeah. Going to a scrum hurts the Brumbies. And, of course, the Reds were good enough to score at the end and win the game. So I think then, once everyone saw our replay, even the referees thought, geez, we might have got that wrong. So now we've got all the angles, Sean, except for the one that you're asking for on camera 3. What do you think?
I mean, why would we roll in the only replay that we showed on the night? Why would we do that? Which totally looks like a knock-on. However, it does now appear that the refereeing crew have got it 100% right.
Which they knew all along, right?
Which Damon Murphy knew all along.
Oh, they would have been worried when they saw that replay.
You reckon?
Yeah, you would have been worried because it looks bad. It just doesn't show the depth.
Because the fans at home only got that one footage on the night.
The ball goes forward in the air off Filippo Daungunu, especially on that angle, and then immediately goes backwards off something. But it looks like it's the hip of Mick Wright, but it's Dungunu's own hand. So Damon Murphy refereeing trio, you got it right. Well done, boys.
Brumbies fans ain't going to like that, but you can't refute it. But I tell you what, we're not entering in evidence ever again, is the Zapruder film from row 400 in the Gregan Larkham stand that shot on a Casio calculator that would have been something in 1986.
Is it AI, maybe?
Might be slop. Might be AI slop. Exactly.
Produced by
Swaney on Grok.
Red Zatko.
Oh, yeah.
Don't the little Reds
Sleeper
minions come
agent.
running. Don't the little Reds minions come running. Don't their colours run deep. Swain,
Yeah.
Slats, Atkinson. They came running in defence of Downgoonu and the refereeing crew. Anyways, that sets up the chance for the match winner. So let's have a look now at the match winner, Carter Gordon, who had a night, it must be said. The line break, as you said, Fang, beautiful work from Jock Campbell, who sized him up in and away. He's in good form at the moment, Jock Campbell. And Pritchard is rapid.
Absolutely, yeah. And Jock Campbell's probably the Premier 13 in the comp at the moment. For him to have the guts to make that line break down the right-hand side, back himself, and that 18-year-old Pritchard, we need to see a birth certificate there. He is massive and rapid. He's built for the game. We'll see a lot more of him. But this try here, Carter Gordon, backing himself to beat his defender one-on-one, you know, that's probably why he's got the run-in for the gold jersey later in the year, because it's this sort of things in big moment games where we need those guys to stand up.
Great finish. Reds, so they break that run of outs against the Brumbies. I mean, well done to them. It's just insane that they found a way late to get the result there. Well done to the Reds.
That was about 11:30 as well.
Yeah, it was getting late. It was just a weird night. It was so strange down there. Hell of a derby.
It's the best post game we ever did.
Because it was after
2 interviews.
Done
captains.
after 5 minutes. And still didn't have enough time to get into the Kingo. Fellas, that was... we wanted it to be the match of the round, and it proved out the right way for Reds and Brumbies fans, despite the result going against those from the ACT. On Friday night, it was the Hurricanes v the Waratahs in Sydney. Humid old night, similar down there in Canberra. Humid, really humid. High dew point, definitely, there at the SFS. And, well, the Canes didn't trouble them, and the Tars, it clearly did. They were off.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough day at the office for the Tars, especially because, you know, they started the season so well. We had a lot of belief. First few games of the season, you see that Waratahs forward packs that are really dominating the game, and the outside backs were just starting to click. And I think it was really telling that the Hurricanes post-match, they spoke a lot about how they had to set the platform through their shoulders, and how the Karifi spoke a lot about the physicality they had to bring. I think for the Waratahs, first time in a long time that they've actually been the hunted, because they started so well. Hurricanes knew they had to bring their A game to be able to combat them at home. And the physicality was obviously what they wanted to bring, and they brought it in spades. And I think what's most concerning for the Waratahs is that they sort of held on first half, but that third quarter, that's when we sort of went to water a little bit and went up to the frontline battle, where you got to get nose on nose, you got to keep going at each other. And I think the Waratahs will be soul-searching a little bit after that. McKellar will not like that at all. McCaffrey as well there. Two big physical guys. They love that contact zone. So it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back this week.
Yeah, talking about McKellar and McCaffrey, they've got a decision to make, the Waratahs. They're all in on this up and close defence, come in and try and pick someone line speed, which tactically fine. At the moment, they're just not good enough at it. And if you didn't watch all of the coverage on Saturday night, and you'd be excused if you didn't, this is Saturday night, the Reds Brumbies game. We had a great chat to Laurie Fisher in the world's longest pre-match, and he had a quick chat about all the teams. I love talking footy with Laurie Fisher. You always learn something, and he was a little bit similar. He's noticing that the Waratahs are individually coming up, especially under pressure, off turnover, off unstructured ball, and trying to solve things individually. But Dan McKellar and Lockie McCaffrey have a lot of work to do in a short space of time to work out, one, if they're very committed to what they're doing, which is fine, but they've got to get much better at it. They've got to know when sometimes you've just got to be neutral, sometimes you've got to be passive, use a sideline, what we call jockey defence, wait till you got the right numbers and push someone in the sideline. You cannot blitz every single phase. Sometimes if you lose a contact, you can't blitz phase on phase, Fang. I think that's the big one. Hurricanes showed that it's not an either-or rugby. You got to show up physically, yes, like they did, but they asked a lot of questions of the Waratahs out wide from the beginning of the match. And the Tars at the moment don't have the answer.
Yeah, you've coached at that level, so you know, like, that rush in and out in D is so good if you get it right. But if you're just slightly off, you're giving those soft shoulders and the ability to play that fly ball over the top. And that's when you start to get cut apart. So you're right, it's a decision now. And do you stick with it and just say, no, we're just going to get better? Or do you find a way to sort of tweak it a little bit so it's not so high line, so you sort of cover both bases.
Yeah, and a couple of things, sorry, Sean, I know it's getting a bit wordy, but one, the Suaalii sort of late scratching, one, I think he carried a bit of hamstring niggle through the week, so it wasn't a brand new injury, and I think he did it a bit worse, so it sounds like he's out for a couple of months maybe.
Yeah.
But also, you lose your 13, who you'll know, Fang, is often your marshal, your decision-maker, your communicator in that kind of defence, isn't he? Like,
he
he's the
sets
kind of
everything,
guy,
doesn't he? He sets whether you're doing that rush D this time or you're doing the softer D the next time. So losing him so late in the game, especially Pullman, like quality player, I thought he did a great job when he was thrown in so late, but he wouldn't have had the reps through the week, not just the week as well. Like Suaalii's out now 13. I don't think he was getting many reps through pre-season, through you know all the trial games. So he'll take a little bit of time to settle in there, but losing him so late, I think, really put them on the back foot. And then the Hurricanes, when they smell weaknesses, they go in those exact areas where they can attack.
And then the other part of it, the ordering of the way they play. So they went to width, and then a couple of cross kicks, a couple of kicks in behind. The chip off first phase in the attacking 22 against the Waratahs, you saw, because of all the stress they'd put the Waratahs under, Andrew Kellaway is 20 metres outside the ball trying to close the last attacker because he knows what's happening. There's no backfield coverage off the line out or the blind side. So they picked apart completely the Waratahs defence, the Hurricanes. Outstanding.
So it's 12-17 rather, Tars trailing at half-time, but it's the second term where it completely gets away from them, and we've got highlights to roll in from some of the carnage in that second half. So Billy Proctor got them started, then Sullivan. So all their big names start popping up. Proctor is an All Black now, and then all the big names start to fire. The passes start sticking. What do you do in that situation when a team catches fire like that? Like, how do you shut it down, fellas?
Yeah, well, the Hurricanes 4-8, I think, were the best on the field all night, and setting them up for these space out wide. You know, you had Shields, Derns, Lakai, Flanders and Karifi in there, just going to work through the middle of the field and then providing those ball running options out wide to provide the space for those outside backs. I thought, Barrett was unreal. Like, the way they just flowed the game. Like, we call it a lot of game flow in our game. The flow, whether you hit that forward pot, then you play the second pod, space out the back. You've got options. The way that they could just keep the ball and the momentum moving around the field really stressed the Waratahs. And when you get a roll on those Kiwi teams, it's very hard to stop that sort of attack and then win back momentum in that second or third phase.
Yeah, I think in answer to your question is that momentum chat. Like the Waratahs started chasing the game because they had to. It got into unstructured touch footy. Who'd that suit? Not the Waratahs. It suited a Hurricanes team with confidence, with a great clear plan, with varied options off every plan. The Waratahs actually had to go back to a little bit of set piece, a little bit basic, a little bit more direct, just cut their error rate down and then slowly almost maybe bore the Hurricanes and make them come back and play a different kind of rugby. They did the opposite. It got loose and chase. If Jorgensen doesn't take that intercept and Sid Harvey takes a slip catch in the back with the kick that was going past him, it could have been 80.
Yeah, it was the 18 turnovers. That's, they had so much pressure. Sid Harvey actually spoke about it after the game, like trying a few more things than he wouldn't usually try because they're chasing the game. These are the 18 turnovers that really killed him because then they're not holding the ball. They're getting the Hurricanes running at them, and they'll eventually break.
Question for you. I'll give you the option again this week like I did last. Who ends the season with more tries, Jorgensen or Cale? Because Jorgo's one the other night again was just absurd, the first one. You can choose. One of those two. Cale obviously leads by 1. Jorgo's 6 through 3 now. Cale's 7 through 4. Who do you want?
Cale.
Okay.
Nah, Jorgo's.
Phipps, you're my witness. And it's for a double or nothing bottle of...
Triple or nothing.
Triple or nothing, yeah.
I've got no room left in my wine cellar, Sean. I've got all these reserved signs and I'm waiting.
How good is his... he's so good.
Even less space there.
Yeah.
And that's Cam Roigard, don't forget.
Yes. I don't know how he did that.
The thing about forwards scoring lots of tries is that the rest of the forwards get quite jealous of it. They won't want that, all right? So the wingers, they're supposed to score.
But 14 guys need to do their job for Jorgo to score sometimes. There's the intercept and the individual ones.
Yes.
But everyone's got to do their job there. Cale, in tight, little pick and go. He got a 1 centimetre
sniffs
one
out
on the
the dry,
weekend.
doesn't
Yeah,
he?
that one's worth as much as Jorgo beating 8 blokes.
That's true. You and I can split the Romany Conti that he's going to owe us.
How was Nobu, boys?
Might as
How's
well
everyone
take
going
it
to
now.
paid up?
They still
waiting.
haven't paid up, those boys. So the Tars have got a ton of work to do. They've got the Reds this week up at Suncorp, and it is going to be a week of a lot of soul searching after copping 50 from the Canes over in New Zealand on Saturday afternoon under the roof, but still in the sunshine. It was the Highlanders and the Force going at it. Guys, the Force, they've had a massive crap. Probably should have won this game, to be honest. Gave themselves a chance. Again, they lead at half-time. They led a New Zealand side. So they led the Blues over in Joondalup a couple of weeks back. They've led the Highlanders, but then couldn't hang on in the second half. And it took some pretty special rugby from the Highlanders to get that win too.
Yeah, I thought it was a great game by the Force. Definitely a big bounce back from the week before. A lot of their boys, I thought the Force forwards were working really hard, as they always do. The Highlanders, just playing with a lot of confidence at home, playing in front of, running into the zoo in that second half. I think the thing that really let down the Force was probably their discipline. You know, penalty count really didn't go their way and just gave a team like the Highlanders a lot more ball than they probably needed. And yeah, it was a great game of footy. I think the Force will leave that game confident. You know, they know that there was a few bright sparks out there, and they just got to get a little bit better. They're playing the Hurricanes next week, so it's not getting any easier for them. But a lot of good tries through the game, and you know, people like Donaldson, Stewart. I thought they were a really good combination in the middle of the field there. I thought Curtly Beale came on and added a lot when he got the opportunity. A lot of vintage, you know, wide outside ball plays. Yeah, I think they went to work, but ultimately they just couldn't, you know, hold the pressure right at the back end of the game there.
Yeah, I think he might have found his role, Curtly Beale, in the twilight of his career. Just come on and make a difference. This is outstanding right on the stroke of half time. That was almost a go for the lineman, Donaldson, but he made it easy on the inside for Stewart as well, and the kick right on half time. That was good. Those two were excellent, of course. Yep. I think for the Force, the issue at the moment is almost a collective concentration. They have ebbs and flows in their game, but their ebbs cost them points. Yeah. You know, you can have a bad 5 minutes, but they sort of multiply those errors and they leak points. And there's a back three that's Tangi Tau, Ratu Matavuki, Neepkins, Nareki. I've always been a fan of with the injury troubles he's had. And then all the Kiwi teams, of course, the good teams make you pay in short spaces.
Yeah, and you know, the Force were in control of that game. They then go behind, but then they lose the bonus point right at the end there. They're the little things that are probably separating the Force from those other teams, being able to pinch losing bonus points or winning bonus points, and that sort of puts them down the ladder where they're playing a lot better than where they look on the ladder there. Yeah,
they've got a good 32 or 33 minutes a half in them. They've just got to build from there.
He's hoping Chronic can get them dialed in for the duration going forward. Fellas, the other game that was rolled out on Saturday afternoon was the Blues v the Crusaders. Again, in the sunshine in Auckland. The first half was, outstanding. The sun set, and so to do the point scoring, unfortunately. But, God, the Blues hit it running in Auckland. They were fantastic early on.
Yeah, again, they wanted to win, the physical battle, I think, the Blues. They really... You know, they climbed into the Crusaders. They saw a sort of an opening there for them. Clark was immense. He, 3 tries. But Beauden Barrett got thrown in at 10 late. You know, the young guy sort of earning his jersey there. He's got a chance to play 10 late because their other 10 got injured. But, having Beauden Barrett back, Papali playing his 100th game for the Blues, they were into that one. They wanted that one really bad against Crusaders and, made the Crusaders pay. The Crusaders picked quite an attacking back line. Having a 10-15 who are, primarily 10, so they wanted to throw the ball around and the Blues just sort of ground them down through the middle, especially led by Papali, I thought.
Yeah, this is archetypal Cotter ball. This is how Vern Cotter wants to play the game. He wants to absolutely drag forwards back into each other, forwards on forwards, and go to town on another forward pack with his. They were hugely disappointed with their performance a couple of weeks ago in Joondalup against the Force. And that's almost been a spark for them, I think. I think they bounced back out of that hard. And then that's why, look how much space there is for Clark, because opposition defences are being sucked in to deal with that physical battle that you always talk about. Yeah. As a 9, you just have to win it. There's nothing you can do as a 9 or 10 sometimes if your forwards aren't winning it. If you're a 9 and 10, with Beauden Barrett coming back into the Blues too for bigger and bigger minutes, off the back of that forward pack who seemed to have come alive again earlier this year than they did last year. They're dangerous again.
And the
5
stats
tries.
didn't really tell the story either. Like, 60 minutes in, the Blues have given away 11 penalties, Crusaders 2. So like, that should have been a wave of momentum for Crusaders. But Blues then kept the Crusaders scoreless in the second half. Like, it was a really funny old game, and not the Crusaders that we definitely know.
They maybe used too much juice chasing down the Chiefs in Hamilton last week. Out of juice, the Crusaders. Blues hung on.
Well,
Clark, 5 tries. 2
everyone
weeks.
beating everyone?
I know. And so that validates the Reds win even more because the Brumbies beat the Blues smoked Crusaders, and Reds beat Brumbies. Huh?
Tars flog Reds.
Get yourself,
Now they're going to play each other again in Brisbane this week.
get yourself a Venn diagram and sort that one out. Fellas, the other game on the weekend was Friday night Chiefs v Minor Pacifica. As expected, plenty of points there on a Friday afternoon over in the Tron. We're going to move to posties. I'm just going to get straight into posties because I'm saving up some space at the back end of this here thing for the Six Nations wrap because we were treated to 2 of the all-time games on the weekend in the world of Six Nations. Before we hit that, posties. Bang. As our guests and as a newly minted father of 4, you get to go first.
Yeah, my 1 point was Hamish Stewart.
Ooh.
I think Dono's been playing some fantastic footy there at the Force, but I think that's primarily because of Stewart there. Just watching him when the ball wasn't in play on the weekend, I thought he was communicating really well. His kicking game was great. He's courageous in defence. I thought he was great for Dono there to help the rest of the team as well.
I've got about 4 different options down for each point. I've actually watched the Force game twice. I went back and watched the Tars again, and I can't find anyone in either of those matches that deserves points above the actors in the Reds-Brumbies game. I thought that was a level above.
Yeah.
And I've got 1 point, Filippo Dungunu. Took his chance, got an opportunity in the midfield. We talk a lot about how good he is without the ball, pressure over the ball. He kept them in the fight. Not just trying to win turnovers, but slowing ball down out wide when the Brumbies had a roll on. Thought he was dangerous with the ball, scored that late try with some nice smarts and work. No knock on at the end, which helped probably secure the point. But I was very happy for him to see him back in the starting team, and he took his opportunity.
He always does take his opportunity, Duncan. Last year he was throwing into the Wallabies as well, and he dominated.
He never let you down.
No,
he never let you down.
He's ready. Picking coach.
Yeah, but again, like that shift to 13 with all the injuries, no dramas. You're not going to believe it.
That's it.
Dungunu won.
Really?
Yeah. It's already with Pitbull.
There's a lot of options there too.
For all the reasons you just said. Just to clarify, I'm going to go all Reds because you've got to have the winning team. And when wins have been as hard to come by down there as they have been for the Queensland side in recent years, then I've got to be a Red man today. And Red it will be. Who's your 2?
2, not a Red, Ryan Lonergan. I thought he was... he's started the season as the best 9 out of the Australian 9s. His passing and his service this year has taken an absolute step above, and it was already good. His width, he was giving his forwards on the weekend. He's picking off on the short side, finding space. Kept the Brumbies going. And when the Brumbies were rolling forward, he was a big marker in that. His kicking game's great, and I really like what the Brumbies have done around the defensive shape in between the 22s. They've given that 9 licence to shoot out the back of that forward pod. Reece Webb does it really well for Wales and Ospreys, and it's just putting that pressure on the back on the playmaker, so then they have to play that really hard carry off the sideline through the forwards. I thought that's really smart, and he didn't shy away from that.
He's such a good footballer, and he's sort of stuck, isn't he, at Wallaby level, because I think the Wallabies feel Jake Gordon's their out-and-out starting number 9. He's got their best pass. And he can add acceleration to the game. That's the belief in the Wallabies anyway, when they need it. And Tate, of course, is a super sub who wants to be more. And Lonergan's almost stuck in the middle there somewhere, but he's an outstanding footballer. So I went 2... Is my 2 points now? Yeah. 2 points, I went... I wanted the Brumbies' best player.
Okay.
Okay, that's how I got to my 2-pointer. And an honorary mention, he's not going to get it, to Declan Meredith. I thought he was outstanding. But when I went back and looked at Kale, he's my 2-pointer. All the stuff in attack that we saw, but he made 14 tackles, good tackles with 1 miss in the tough stuff as well. I love the fact that he can vary, getting in there, playing tight enough as you need to, but also all the stuff we saw about try scoring and being a threat out wide. Charlie Kale, 2 points.
Like it. Worshon to me. This kid can play.
Yeah.
He is... If you're keeping Kalani Thomas on the bench, who's a Wallaby now, as we know... his kicking on goal was crucial. His kicking out of the hand was great. I haven't seen him miss a tackle this year, and he goes up weight division on weight division on weight division to drop blokes. He was so good for the Reds the other night. And then when they had all those injuries, he and Kalani had to tag team that 9 position. So to have the smarts to know where to be and to alternate there, he's a tremendous footballer, Louis Wersh. On to me. Who have we got as our... Am I smelling 3 pyramids?
Don't know.
Jeez, I hope so. Now,
I had Feech.
It's funny. I had Carter Gordon down for 3 before he scored the match-winning try. I thought the width on his pass on the weekend. He doesn't shy away from defence. His kicking was good. His organisation around the back of those forwards pods is really important because he's got the cattle in front of him. Is how they then use it. So I thought he was really good in that space. And, you know, besides the cheeky F-bomb in the post-match, I thought he was very good.
Second pyramid, Carter Gordon, 3 points. You've mentioned all that stuff. Defensively, I thought he was great too. He's Australia's best defensive 10. A few times too, he comes up out of the line when they've got a good line set and wants to make a big shot on a big player. Love the physical nature. He's a bigger guy, a bigger body, and that's what we want to see from him.
Rugby league in him.
Yeah, but he was like that beforehand.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the rugby league. It was. He was. I thought he was like that at the Rebels. Remember, he got a lot of traffic down his channel. And I think he's always been like that. So I thought it was a deserved 3 points.
It's feature time. I was just trying to dig out the feature noise that we hit on Queen of the Nile when the 3 pyramids lob and land. And fellas, for all the reasons you've just said, he was tremendous, and I hope this trajectory continues for him as well after coming back to rugby. He was rusty last week against the Highlanders, by his own admission, off as well. Just tremendous. So good to see him back. So good to see him enjoying himself, connecting with those boys, and they're doing good things. It is 3 by 3 for Gordon. Posties done and dusted. Fellas, on to the Six Nations, our round 4 wrap, and we have to start in Rome at Stadio Olimpico, where it was the Azzurri breaking through for their first win against England in the history of their rivalry. 35 years, I think it is, Morgs, give or take. Just incredible stuff. Truly incredible to take down the English.
Yeah, and Steve Borthwick, he brought in 9 changes for the English team this game, so he wasn't happy with the drubbing they got against Ireland, and I'm not really sure where he goes to here. So Italy was so good. And I remember when I played World 15 sort of 2 years ago, Lamaro, you know, there's 3 or 4 Italian blokes in there. I was like, who are these guys? Like, they don't really seem, where have they come from? They were so dominant. They'd be good in any team. And Lamaro was our captain, and he was just so passionate, smart leader. He's leading those boys around so well. Their backs are obviously very good, but their forward pack was the difference in the game, especially against like a back row of Underhill and Curry and Earls. You need to be good in that area to be able to keep the ball and score those tries.
Yeah, the limoncello should be limoncello. There'll be a bit of grappa afterwards, Sean. Just trying to think who's a better centre in the world than him.
Len Iquitel, maybe.
Just.
The pair of them, side by side.
Frighteningly good player, and has been for years upon years. But this is not a flash in the pan. This is not an upset. Mate, I thought they'd win. I tipped them on Rugby Heaven to win.
Did?
Yeah, I thought they'd win. So when I saw the 9 changes, and you asked where does Borthwick go from here, it's England. He could be going to Centrelink. He shouldn't.
No, he shouldn't. They're already out.
Are they? Yeah. Don't laugh at it's misfortune. But
they're all, mate, the claws are out because they're like, he wants to play this style of kick pressure. They want to play this, we're forcing pressure through our kicking, but they're not picking the players to play that style. Like they're picking expansive plays. So a lot of them, like, Ben Youngs and Ben Cole were sinking their teeth into him yesterday. Like they're not happy.
Austin Healy had a go. He said he should bounce out as well.
Well, they win 15 in a row or something before.
Jeez, mate, life comes at you.
Before the Six Nations, they were like, we're the best team ever. We'll take the Six Nations in the Grand Slam now with the World Cup afterwards.
Yeah. Life comes at you quick as a test coach, doesn't it? Oh, man, they forget how quickly they forget. Yeah. The last try was fabulous as well from the Italians. Forza boys. Our man, Monty Ioane, in there as well, former Melbourne Rebel, managed to free up some space and your man, Menicello, goes through Morgs, and then they had, I think it was Marin on the inside.
Yeah, and I think the Garbisi, the 9 that was brought in for Italy as well, provided a lot of that width to be able to play. And, you know, this is gutsy. The crossfield kick with like 8 minutes to go to back yourself there, and the passion that they had after the win, that was a pleasure to watch. You love that sort of stuff, seeing a good Italy team. And cast your mind back to when Wallabies dropped a couple of games against Italy.
Yeah, there's
and
no shame in
we were the
it.
worst team in the world. Like, they've been building for a long time.
Yeah.
They deserve these victories as well.
Jamie Lyle, who commentated that game with that beautiful big Scottish voice of his alongside Tom May. I was chatting to him last night, and he said that so whether they were in the gang trip, Stadio Olimpico, or the Italian journos and presenters were around them, and they were all actually in tears over the closing stages. So they get that final penalty, and they were like grown men, grown women, everyone's just bawling their eyes out at the enormity of that win. So huge result.
First time in 33 games.
35, I think it was.
Yeah. Incredible.
Extraordinary.
But it's also, don't forget, because of Six Nations, it's going to cut through. This is a football-mad country, of course, but that would have had high viewership, lots of people jumping on to watch it. That has huge cut-through for the Italian game in rugby union in the country.
So good. Also good, Scotland against France. I tell you what, you clock off for a second with some of these games, and you come back to the TV and go, hang on a second, what just played out? Scotland trailed at one point, but then lead 40-17, 40-14 before France come back 50-40 full time.
40 unanswered points. Scotland scored in that middle, sort of from halfway in the first half to the third quarter. The one sunny day in Scotland a year, and puts the points on, 90 points. It was a cracking game. I thought, you know, it was a blockbuster names as well. You know, Russell versus Jalibert. Like, there was a lot of good names in that game. Geez, Ben White was incredible. He toured down here for the Lions series. Ben White was like integral.
They called him in late, didn't they?
Yeah, called him. He didn't exactly. Yeah, and him against Dupont. He was very interested to seeing how rattled Dupont was. Look, you know, he is human after all. Like, he had a lot of pressure on him through the games. I think a lot of the international teams will be watching how Scotland managed to do that. And France's 2 yellows, probably the ill discipline, sort of let Scotland kick away with that. And they were very brave as well, because Scotland had a lot of penalties to kick from in front, and they didn't take any of them. Everything was to the line except for the last penalty from Russell. And, you know, they were brave and they got the chocolates.
Yeah, I think it's the best 60 minutes of rugby in Gregor Townsend's reign, long-term reign now as Scotland coach. This is a flogging. That game's over after an hour.
Yeah.
Like, they've got famous grouse in their water bottles in 60 minutes. Like, whatever France do afterwards doesn't mean a lot. It's great for France. If you're Fabien Galtier, and it's a tough week now, where he's got to get him to pick themselves up and finish this off and still win the thing. But you're going to grab a hold of the last one and go, look, see what can happen, whatever. But it was done. It's game over. It's celebration time.
Totally. And don't forget, Townsend's head was on the block in the early stages as well of these Six Nations.
Well, after the Italy game.
They had him sized up for a set of concrete boots. They were going to toss him overboard as well.
They were able to dust off Italy, which you would expect them to at the beginning of the tournament. That tournament's over.
Yeah.
Scotland have won. First time since 99. Like, it's incredible how the Six Nation ebbs and flows through the tournament.
50-40 in a Six Nations game. Welcome to the party, pal. How much more fun is it seeing a few tries put on the board? They're up there, we play Six Nations. No, don't. This is way better. Play him in the Arvo, put the bagpiper on the roof pre-game. How good did that look? And let them rip, because they are so good to watch when they get trucking. Ireland v Wales. Ireland beat Wales and give themselves... So there's still a chance. So Ireland's still a chance to win this whole thing. There's still a chance. You're telling me there's a chance. But the headlines are out of this game are over the try of the year, maybe.
Yeah.
Should we look at the try of the year? Tell me this isn't. This is Angus Bell-like.
There's nothing more gorgeous than a big man in space, right?
Yeah.
I think he was even shocked when he got that down.
Yeah, well, he's on the ground.
He's 135 clicks and he's moving with pace. Got his opportunity. Like, Wales have been impressive this tournament. Like, that doesn't show it on the table, but they're definitely improved. Steve Tandy, one of our own over there. Look at the one-arm carry as well.
And with 5 metres to go, he knows he's going to make it. He's like, I'm going to score. I'm going to score this.
What do I do here?
It was so good. I think there's a good one with, I don't know who did it, with the Whitney Houston.
Yeah, Whitney Houston.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think Six Nations popped that out.
No, as a great fan, there was good acceleration through. Like, half laugh, half enjoy a prop try, but it was quality.
So the standings are these. So France and Scotland are tied at 16 at the top. Ireland are there in 14. But this weekend, France play England. There's got to be some bounce back, despite it being in Paris for England. Surely England aren't. Surely they're coming out fizzing.
Mate, they probably win. No, there's Six Nations.
Who knows?
Imagine that.
And then Scotland have got Ireland in Dublin. That ain't easy. And then Wales and Italy obviously can't. But these other two games can give us a champion.
Tell you what's important when those games are played.
Yeah.
If France get rolled by England, Scotland, Ireland, that could be just a playoff for the Six Nations.
So France, England, the last game of the
Are they last
round.
game?
Yeah.
Are they?
So Ireland, Scotland are the first.
So you're thinking there, Scotland, Ireland. You're thinking we win this, we can win the whole thing. And then you have a couple of beers and have a nervous watch.
And it's
get that grouse pack out.
The best thing about Six Nations is like everyone hates England, right? So then all of a sudden you've got either Ireland or Scotland cheering for England in the last game of the round to see who will win the whole Six Nations.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Do they have a trophy to give out?
What do you mean?
The trophy burnt.
Yeah.
Oh, they burn it?
It was in a van.
A van exploded or
Exploded
caught fire
in the
and the
E-bike.
trophy.
Someone's put an e-bike in the back with the trophy.
It's exploded.
Someone had to take their power bank charger. Forgot to take it out of their July luggage.
It burned?
Yeah.
Melted?
Yeah, it's cooked.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
They should call it the ashes.
Van
That's what they
kaboom?
should do.
No, van didn't go
There's
up.
like this charred half trophy left over. They're going to make a new
Yeah,
one.
there's something on social media they're
jeez.
holding it and it's just absolutely
Really?
cooked, yeah.
Okay. Well, they're going to have to get moving because it's going to go to either France, Scotland or Ireland on the weekend. Fellas, our BTP, this is a new seg, Fang, BTP MVP of the week, and it has to go the way of, well, the entire Italian, let's go to the country. All of you. You've all been through the ringer over the years against England and you are now winners against the men in white. You are the BTP MVP and the celebrations, guys, were so good in the aftermath as well from Italy, from the Azzurri. Forza, bravissimo, molto bene, molto bene, molto bene.
They make the game better, don't they? Like, they are absolutely having the best time of their life there. And like you said, they deserve it. For years, they've been the whipping boy, you know, when they were talking about, oh, we need promotion relegation to Six Nations, and they're always up on the chopping block. It's good to see them enjoying themselves and getting the fruits of their work because it's been a long road back and they've gotten better every year, and it's good to see them going well.
And as you guys said, they have got a world-class centre. Hoops will love hearing that.
Is it exaggeration to say it's probably the most important thing that's ever happened in the city of Rome, ever in history?
Might have a few other things up against
Top
it.
five. It's a top five.
Roundabout. The ruins would like to have a chat. So too with the Colosseum. Okay, fellas. Legends 15, which we're selecting Fang 30 years of the comp. What about this team is absurd that we're putting together from the world of Super Rugby. So we've got Crockett, Milamu, Franks. That's our front row. Last week, the locks were selected. We're talking John Eales and the Springboks and Bulls legend, Victor Matfield. This week, we're looking at sixes. Any thoughts on a six, maybe? Super Rugby all time?
Yeah.
Can I just have a couple of names?
Finnegan.
Yeah.
Skullberger?
Scholar, yeah.
Well, it's
Finnegan,
typical,
Scholar,
like,
yeah.
the SAFA sixes are open sides or left, right.
Yes,
and
true.
then the blind, traditional blind sides. There's been some good ones. Rocky Elston.
I was going to say, International Man of Mystery. He might be in there as
We'll
well.
post him the trophy.
Where do we send it?
Pick up a drop box.
The hinterland. The Queensland hinterland. Somewhere in that part of the world. Who else? I'm just trying to think, one other six?
Well, there's sort of the great workmen like Crusaders, sixes that won lots of comps, like a Reuben Thorne who led them.
Yeah.
Those sorts of guys have been outstanding. There's been a few.
Is George Smith going to miss out? He is, isn't he?
Depends on the voting. Like,
It's the public who vote.
We need the public to get it, the Australian public.
But you've
New
got
Zealand
World
public
Rugby
don't come
Hall of
out.
Famers vying for that 7 spot.
Yeah.
Like the best of the best of the best of the best. Fellas, it's almost wrap. Before we go, quick shout-outs. Obviously, sadly, the Raw aren't really doing a whole lot in the world of rugby at the moment. It's a bit of a shame, and we love looking after those of you who love the game as much as we do. So a bunch of the Raw guys have bounced over. They've got an 8-9 Substack, so now the 8-9 combo are over there on Substack. It's a big thing, Morgs, Substack. So if you,
I don't know what that is.
no, that's okay. But when you
Can you
get
show
through,
me on my
we might
phone
need to-
later?
when you
how
get
to do it?
through
Yeah.
when you get through Sam Worthington and when you get through Ian Payton and Johnny Drennan as well, the 8-9 combo have got a good little thing going over there on Substack as well. So check them out because they are flying the flag alongside the same boys from last week and girls that we mentioned. Fellas, it's a wrap. Weatherman from Japan. We're going to let you get back to the little man. So can we just have, before we go, a quick word on how you've landed on that name?
No, miss. We actually thought we were going to have a girl, so we didn't really have a lot planned. But my wife always liked Valentine, and I managed to push it back for the first two, but she's landed on the third.
Are you just happy
I
for him to
like
be
it.
bullied at school when he gets there? Or?
I was just happy his middle name isn't Junior. We're very close to St George. So, no, it's a good. We like it. It's good name.
I love it. I love it.
Well, mate, these days, kids have got some crazy names.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's almost
Imagine kinder teachers seeing some of the names rolling through.
it's almost got a bit of Italian to it too, really.
Yeah.
Thought it might have been on
It's
brand.
fitting.
Valentino.
Was this girl going to be Valentina?
No.
No, well, I'm very happy for you,
that's
mate.
awesome.
We're very, very happy, and we're so glad to have you back. Are you back? Come back next week?
Yep.
Yeah.
Back.
So you get time away with 4 kids to look after.
Well,
at
it's
home.
tied off that the Rockets had a bye as well
Green Rockets.
to be the best
Club
they
that
can be.
just keeps on keeping on.
Keep going.
You can't kill off the Green Rockets.
A little team that could.
They
Bottom
really
of the
are.
ladder, number one, your heart.
And this week we've got obviously the Derby, Reds v Waratahs Saturday night. Have we got Friday night
That's it.
too?
Only one on Australian soil.
Is it now? Friday night off? Ooh, that could be a little bit of fun. Hello. We're getting
You'll see me at the
gelato.
Coogee Wine Room on Coogee Bay Road.
Okay, well, you enjoy. We'll let you get back to changing nappies, Fang, and we'll let the rest of you get back to whatever it is you want to do across the back end of your Monday night. Don't forget, we've got Rugby Heaven coming Thursday, and as I said, the Derby on Saturday. The Reds up against the Tars at Suncorp Stadium, and for your next hit between two posts, you know the drill. Same time, same place next week.